Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you more about living with uncertainty. This is a question that comes up a lot in OCD recovery. Well, how do I live with uncertainty? Well, I feel so distressed, I can't function, and all of this kind of stuff. So you have to look at it, the way it works for you is the way you need to do it. So if living with 100% uncertainty seems unrealistic right now for you in your situation, with your stress levels, with your daily life, then maybe that's not the right answer for you right now, and you need to work up to that, meaning that you need to start with having smaller goals. So okay, I'm going to live with uncertainty, say for a day, and then I will do reassurance. I'm going to live with uncertainty for a week, and then I will do reassurance, and slowly work up to bigger things as your anxiety drops. Because anytime you are doing any kind of exposure that you're doing successfully, meaning you're doing the response prevention, preventing the reaction of fear, preventing physical compulsions or mental rumination, your brain learns that this is less relevant. And when it learns it's less relevant, it reduces the level of fear it automatically sends you. So it's easier to disregard as you keep going, and it becomes kind of like a game. Let's see how many times I can disregard today. But it becomes like a game when it stops being a 10 out of 10 paralyzing anxiety and starts to drop down to a reasonable level to where you can disregard, such as say at I would say even like 7 out of 10 you can disregard it. At 10 it's very difficult, but what you can do when you're at level 10 is you can delay. So again, I will not check right now, I will not analyze right now, I will not do the compulsion right now, I will wait. Or if it's if going with the physical compulsions, then another way you can do this would be to reduce the intensity of the compulsion. And I was talking about this in yesterday's video as well, you know. So you are technically living with uncertainty, but it's not uncertainty to the level where you can't handle it to the extreme. It's doable. I can do this. This is not a big deal. I mean, it does feel like a big deal, but in the big scheme of things, how many times have you had this thought? Right? So looking at it that this is not my first OCD thought, this is not my last OCD thought, because I'm still going through OCD recovery, right? So this is just somewhere in the middle, and it's okay, and I'm pushing forward. This has to be your thought process, your attitude, and this is how you keep going. And see how long you can delay, how much uncertainty you can handle. And I find that, we're talking with clients, usually people surprise themselves in how much uncertainty they can handle and how much they can push, because a lot a lot of the times the person will say, well, no, I can do maximum this, and then I'll say, well, are you sure? Maybe you can do a little bit more, let's do this as well, and they end up doing it, and it ends up being actually um, successful exposure at the end, right? So it's just pushing forward, you know and if your OCD thoughts, this is just something I also wanted to mention, right? If your OCD thoughts have to do with themes that are, say, harm related, then the way you do exposures for those thoughts is the thought itself is the exposure, right? Because I just get a lot of questions about it. How do I do those kinds of exposures and those kinds of things? The thought itself is the exposure. How are you reacting to the thought? Are you taking it seriously? Are you taking it as, what if it's real? This feels so real. Oh my God, I'm so worried. Or are you saying, no, whatever, OCD, disregarding. Yep, tell me about how, say, for example, how I'm going to kill everybody. Or, whatever, right? So you're not taking it personally. Whatever it's telling you outside your bubble. It's nothing to do with you. The brain is doing this on autopilot. So this is kind of just an aside, but I do wanted to mention that. And choosing to live with uncertainty. Always choosing to live with uncertainty to the level that you can handle, but don't skip days. Every single day, do something to propel yourself forward, or at least a tiny step forward. Sometimes it's not a propel, right? But it's at least a tiny step forward. But because you're training your brain that this is how it should be. I should be reducing the anxiety to this. This is what you need to show your brain every day, because if you're inconsistent, then you're sending an inconsistent signal, and then the brain's like, well, is this important, is it not? You tell me. So you have to be consistent in that and send a clear message that these thoughts are not a danger. You don't need to send me them. And then after a while, it will start to get with the program. It might take a little while, though. It might take a few months for the brain to shift in how it's viewing these thoughts. So if you're not seeing results right away, that's okay. It might take a little bit of time. That's normal. And like I always say, it takes about 6 months to achieve recovery if you're working really hard on your recovery. That's what I pretty much see with clients all the time. So just keep working at it, you know? The success of the day lies in how much you refused and how little reassurance you did. It doesn't mean that it, how good you feel in the course of the day, because the ERP is hard, so you won't feel good as you are doing ERP. You just won't. It's very, very difficult, but that's okay. You will start to see that, again, going back to how OCD works, right? That the brain at first starts to send you more thoughts and really ramp it up, and this is where you absolutely have to stay strong and you can't give in. As you go through that, it will start to get with the program and reduce the level of anxiety that comes with it. So you'll still get a lot of thoughts, but instead of being very loud in your brain, they will be kind of like a whisper, and you will much easier be able to disregard it. So this is a process for everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of OCD the person has. It's just refusing day after day. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I talk daily about all things OCD. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.